One of the most common questions women ask after a disappointing dating experience is, how did I stay so long? Not because they didn't see what was happening, not because they weren't intelligent, not because they weren't paying attention, because mixed signals are incredibly persuasive. And if you've ever found yourself replaying conversations, analyzing text messages, or trying to reconcile behavior that didn't quite make sense, today's lesson is for you. Welcome to Sunday School. I'm Arnitris L. Strong, Executive Dating Strategist, founder of Love Elevated with Arnitris, and the host of Executive Lessons in Love. And this is the relationship education you were never given. Each week, we explore the patterns, perspectives, and relationship skills that help women make more intentional relationship decisions. If that sounds like something you need, make sure you're subscribed and let's get into today's lesson. After a disappointing dating experience, many women eventually arrive at the same conclusion. I knew something wasn't right. And yet at the time, it didn't feel that simple. At the time, there was hope. There were good conversations. There were moments that felt promising. There were reasons to believe things might eventually come together. And that's exactly why mixed signals are so persuasive, because mixed signals rarely arrive as obvious rejection. If they did, most women would leave. Instead, they arrive as inconsistency, just enough encouragement to remain hopeful, just enough uncertainty to keep asking questions, just enough possibility to make you wonder if perhaps you're being impatient. And that's exactly where many women get stuck. Not because they lack information, it's because they haven't yet decided what the information means. For example, imagine someone cancels plans repeatedly. The cancellation itself is information. But that's not where most women spend their time. They spend their time interpreting the information. Maybe he's busy. Maybe work is stressful. Maybe he has a lot going on. Maybe he just needs more time. Do you see what's happening? The energy is no longer being spent evaluating behavior. The energy is being spent explaining behavior. And those are two very different activities. One helps you make decisions, the other delays them. That's why mixed signals feel so convincing, because they create enough uncertainty for interpretation to take over. And once interpretation takes over, possibility often becomes louder than reality. Let's go a little deeper, because I don't actually think mixed signals are the problem. I think the problem is what mixed signals allows us to imagine. When someone is consistent, there isn't much room for interpretation. The information is clear. But when someone is inconsistent, the mind naturally begins to fill in the gaps. We start creating explanations. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's afraid. Maybe he's just moving slowly. Maybe he needs more time. And before long, we're no longer responding to what is happening. We're responding to what we believe might be happening. That's important, because many women think they're attached to a person when in reality they're attached to a story, a possibility, a future. And that's much harder to evaluate objectively, because possibilities don't require evidence. They only require imagination. Now, here's where I think accomplished women face a unique challenge. Successful women are often exceptional problem solvers. They're resourceful, analytical, thoughtful. They're used to gathering information and finding solutions. Those qualities serve them well professionally. But in dating, those same strengths can sometimes become liabilities. Because instead of asking, what is this behavior communicating? They begin asking, how can I make sense of this behavior? And while those questions sound similar, they lead to very different outcomes. One evaluates, the other rationalizes, and that distinction matters because most women are not lacking awareness, they're struggling with interpretation. They saw the inconsistency, they noticed the effort wasn't matching the words, they recognized that things weren't progressing. What they didn't always recognize was the story they were creating around those things. Here's where this becomes important. Most women don't stay because things are consistently good, and they don't leave because things are consistently bad. They stay because relationship provides enough hope to remain invested, but not enough progress to feel secure. Think about that. Enough hope to stay, not enough progress to relax. Enough encouragement to keep trying, not enough consistency to build confidence. Enough attention to stay emotionally connected, not enough movement to create true understanding. That's exhausting. And it's one reason situationships can feel more emotionally consuming than actual relationships because hope continues to rise, but progress never catches up. And that's one of the most expensive relationship lessons of all. And that's why mixed signals feel so convincing. Not because they're clear, not because they're meaningful, but because they allow hope and uncertainty to exist at the same time. And that's a powerful combination. One of the myths I wish women would stop believing is that intelligence protects us from emotional override. It doesn't. In fact, highly accomplished women are often exceptionally skilled at finding explanations. That's what makes them successful. They solve problems, they analyze information, they look for context. But those same strengths can become liabilities in dating because instead of evaluating behavior, they explain it. Instead of accepting information, they reinterpret it. Instead of asking, what does this mean? They ask, how can I make this make sense? And those are two very different questions. Many women don't miss the signs, they simply create explanations that allow them to remain hopeful a little longer. And that's one of the most expensive relationship lessons of all. That's it for this episode of Love Elevated Sunday School, the relationship education you should have been given before learning it the hard way. Take what you've heard today and sit with it. Let it inform how you see what you're experiencing, not just how you feel about it. This has been Sunday School. May you trust what you see, respect what it means, and move intentionally toward the love you both deserve and desire.